Wow, that was quite the entrance, buddy. How are we doing? Thanks.
Yeah, good,
thanks for coming, mate. When you said you were coming along in a Corvette, I did not expect to see something like this. Shall we start at the front? You need to tell me all about this because I heard a Rotary in there, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're right. So this is a 2006 C6 Corvette with a Mazda 20B, aka the triple rotor, turbo engine swap.
Yeah. Power-wise, what are we talking?
Talking about 800 horsepower at the moment, so we're still running quite low boost.
Yeah,
should.
Okay.
Aim is to be about 1,000.
Bloody hell. Okay, now this carbon Kevlar body kit, I've never seen anything like this on a drift car. Now tell me about it, come on.
Yeah, so this is something that you probably see more in motorsport, and it's starting to make its way into drifting now, but yeah, basically it's a carbon Kevlar body kit, and that's a mould of the Chevrolet Z06 Corvette, which is wider than the standard model that this car started as. And essentially, it's carbon and Kevlar, so you get the strength, lightweight, but it's still flexible. So for drifting, when you're having little knocks,
strength is perfect.
Yeah, better than it doesn't shatter like fiberglass.
That's it, and
so
making repairs all the time.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. Shall we look at the money piece? Let's have a look at this end, shall we? Wow, the size of that turbo, my word. Yeah,
so that's a Garrett G42 1450.
Right, okay.
And and it's the motor is I don't want to say it's a crate motor from Poles Performance Racing in New Zealand.
Okay.
So
are they the guys that do Mad Mike's car?
That's correct. Yeah. Right. So when we decided on this, when you wanted to use it for drifting, we realised we're going to have to go with the best. This car runs on Sunoco E85 race fuel, so that's 85% ethanol, mixed with two-stroke oil for the rotary seals. And that gives it that distinct kind of smell. I think it smells like tequila, but it's pretty pungent.
Yeah, so why run E85? Is it just purely a performance?
It burns, one, it gives you a lot of resistance to detonation, so you can tune it higher, especially with more boost. But it also burns really, really clean. So if you look like on the inside the exhaust, there's not a single bit of soot, and that's really good for rotary engines because they are notable for kind of sooting up and getting dirt inside the engines.
Notorious for issues, them rotaries, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got to look after them proper, good fuel, good oil.
You do have to.
Yeah. And so the interesting thing about this car, normally they come with the gearbox in the back. So it's attached to the differential, and it's connected with a torque tube.
Right.
So that was most engine swaps in drift cars quite easy because everything has kind of got its place, like a tunnel. So that was one of the challenges of making the gearbox fit inside.
Of course.
We wanted to mount the gearbox onto the engine.
Right,
because we just felt that was going to work better. Yeah, and also keeps, weight is good, but availability of parts makes it easier.
Of course, makes sense.
A gearbox made in the UK.
Yeah.
So that's a Quaife 69G sequential 6-speed. We use those in our other drift cars.
Yeah.
It works really well.
Shall we have a little look inside?
Yeah, sure.
Right, I've managed to clamber my way in somehow. It's a tight squeeze in here, I must admit. Tell me about all of this, mate, because there's a lot going on here. We've got cables everywhere. We've got obviously this humongous handbrake that you can obviously pull for your entries and things like that.
Yeah, so we've got the carbon fibre dash. We've got the Haltech ECU system, so that's using the Nexus R5 system with a PDM built in. So there's no all the fuses are all built into the system, all the electronics. So that keeps it real nice and neat,
nice and tidy.
And XDR Motor's done this really nice wiring loom for it. And then you've got the sequential shifter here from the Quaife, hydraulic handbrake, locks the back wheels. We've got a racing pedal box down there. You've got all the buttons. I wanted it really clean, so there's no switches. Apart from the ones that are on the actual dash itself. And then we've got the 5x3 kind of button pad here, which is all fully programmable.
With the coolest button I've ever seen. Go baby go.
Yeah, well, it comes with a lot, and I thought that was most fitting.
I like that. I like that a lot. And obviously no instrument cluster or anything there. Do you get speedometer and things on here or not?
This is fully customizable, so you can have whatever data you want to have on there. Obviously, when you're drifting, you don't have time to look at those. So
of course.
You have the computer. The Haltech does all the important safety stuff. So if it notices something really bad, it'll turn it off before I have time to even spot it. But it's good for monitoring in between runs, and that's why we put it there, just because.
Out your driver,
out my way as well.
Yeah. So you mentioned that the gearbox is now at the front. In the regular Corvette, it is in the back. So what on earth is under here? Can we have a nosy?
Yeah, we'll show you. So if you just click those two buttons, give them a bit of a wiggle, and then they should.
There we go.
So we've got, instead of the gearbox being attached to differential, we've just got a differential in here. This is known as a Winter's quick change. So this is what you'll find in all the top end drift cars.
Yeah.
One, because it's really strong, and two, because you can change the gear ratio really simply. So if you look here, you've got this back cover there. All those bolts
yeah, I see it, yeah.
If you basically undo all those bolts, pull it out, there's 2 cogs, you slide those off and replace them with different gears.
Really handy, yeah.
You don't even have to lose that much oil. You literally jack it up. You can change your gear ratio to suit the track within like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Otherwise, like in my other car where you don't have that, you have to take the whole differential out. So it's like
a long
over
day.
a 2-hour job,
that's
even if you're quick, really, with that 5 minutes. So that really lets you dial things in.
Yeah.
Also, we've got the radiator in the back.
Yep.
In this car, which obviously from road car, track cars, they're always in the front.
Yep.
Reason for that is because one, space is premium up front. So by putting it in the back, you can run the larger radiator. But also when you're drifting, you're not really getting much airflow in the front anyway. So you need big fans. So by having it at the back, you can put bigger radiator, bigger fans. That means more volume of water, so it takes longer time to heat up. And also helps with the weight. So as you're taking stuff away from the front, you're putting it over the back wheel.
Yeah.
So when you're
because you need traction, don't you?
That's right. Yeah. So it's no longer just trying to spin the wheels. You want to go fast at the same time. So putting the weight here is good. We've got the radium fuel cell, so that's like an all-in-one fuel system. And then apart from that, the main difference is we've got this crash structure here in the back.
Of course.
So normal car basically cut off from about here, and then we put the tube chassis. So if you were to run into a wall like you're drifting or crash into somebody, it looks quite bad, but it's quite easily fixable. Rather than when it's standard frame, it gets
crumples in.
A lot more harder,
Yeah.
And then apart from that, we've got, if you walk around here, we've got obviously the wheels.
Yep. What size are these?
These are 18 by 11 inch.
Right.
Blitzo Freeze, which probably about 0.0001% of the population of men will think it's cool. And everyone else will just see a wheel.
It, yeah.
But we've got 2 calipers as well. So we've got one for the handbrake and one
makes
for
sense.
the foot brake.
That makes
as
sense,
well.
of course. Yeah, of course.
And
obviously we've got this beautiful side X exhaust here.
Yeah, so that is why the car sounds so unique, coupled with the fact that it's a rotary side exit. One, for simplicity, because there wasn't really much space.
Yeah.
The whole car, the bottom of a Corvette is totally flat.
Yeah.
Unlike most cars, you've got chassis rails and nice things to protect the exhaust. So that was a solution. One for, we wanted the sound, and one for simplicity, really.
Yeah.
It shoots flames, it looks cool.
Looks cool. Sounds great.
Tracks don't really like it, but some places,
yeah, that's it.
It's okay.
And we love it, so that's what matters. That's what matters.
And then what you can't see right now is obviously we've got the aftermarket steering angle kit.
Yeah,
so that makes a difference from like a normal road going Corvette. So it's an FTF factory, so basically a full kit.
Yeah.
It basically gives you the full lock. So
what sort of angle are we talking about for this?
Upwards of 70 degrees. So
wow.
It's a good like 20 degrees more than a standard car.
Yeah.
Lightly. So that just means you can throw in bigger angle.
Yeah.
Less likely to spin.
I think the common theme with all of this, I think, is how everything is neat, tidy. It's not just thrown together. You've thought about where you're going to place stuff, making sure that it is as clean as possible, because ultimately it's not a competition spec car, is it? It's more of a bit of a show car, so to speak. Built for Goodwood, you mentioned.
Correct, yeah. So we built it for Goodwood. We kind of built it to potentially be able to use it as a drift car, like competition car in the future, but for now it was more to be just a big, bold, kind of crazy car.
Wow.
I think
that's a big tick on that one.
yeah, definitely makes it harder to maintain and so on, but it's unique.
Absolutely,
that's what we went for.
Right, shall we go and make some smoke? So I think that might be a good idea.
Sounds pretty good.
Let's do it.